Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Israelites 13 channel. I'm your host. Tonight, I will be writing solo. My good friend Carl has some obligations tonight, and he will not be able to join us tonight. The title of tonight's show is The Secrets of Saturn and the Children of the Black Cube. So we're going to hit the ground running, and we're going to go back to Hollywood, and we're going to have them pretty heavy tonight in the clips, and we're going to have Hollywood explain your history, which has been veiled and relegated to basically mythology and fairy tale. And you'll find a lot of this mythology and so-called fairy tale is real history, and the history that they give you is the mythology and the fairy tale. Having said that, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to read something right off the bat from the Cave of Treasures. All right, it's called The Revolt of Satan in the War in Heaven. And when the prince of the lower order of angels saw the great majesty had been given unto Adam, he was jealous of him from that day, and he did not wish to worship him. And he said unto his host, Ye shall not worship him, and ye shall not praise him with the angels. It is me that you should worship. You should worship me, because I am fire in spirit, and not that I should worship a thing of dust, which has been fashioned of fine dust. And the rebel mediating these things would not render obedience to God, and of his own free will he asserted his independence and separated himself from God. But he was swept away out of heaven and fell, and the fall of himself and of all his company from heaven took place at the second hour of the sixth day, or the sixth day at the second hour of the day. And the apparel of their glorious state was stripped off of them. And his name was called Satana, or Satan. His original name was Satanael, and once that glorious apparel was stripped, that is his his light being stripped from him. So Satana, because he turned aside from the right way, and because he was cast out, and because he lost his apparel of glory. And behold, from that time until the present day, he and all of his host have been stripped of their apparel, and they go naked and have horrible faces. And when Satan was cast out from heaven, Adam was raised up so that he might ascend to paradise in a chariot of fire. Let me read that again. And when Satan was cast out from heaven, Adam was raised up so that he might ascend to paradise in a chariot of fire. And the angels went before him, singing praises, and the seraphim ascribed holiness unto him, and the cherubim ascribed blessings, and amid cries of joy and praises Adam went into paradise. As soon as Adam entered paradise, he was commanded not to eat of a certain tree. His entrance into heaven took place at the third hour of the eve of the Sabbath. So continuing, let's go to ancient aliens and hear what they have to say about the God, Adam, that was raised to heaven in a chariot of fire.
The pyramid-shaped stone on top of each obelisk, called the Ben stone, was a design rooted in Egyptian mythology. The Ben was a vehicle which Atum, the god of all creation, used to travel back and forth between the heavens and earth.
We think of the Ben as a craft because it is believed to have come from the stars originally. When the god Atum arrived on earth, he arrived in the Ben. When the god Atum left the earth, he rose in the Ben and presumably went back to the stars.
Curiously, the ancient Egyptian gods were often depicted as human-like figures who came from the stars and possessed incredible powers. And as far as ancient astronaut theorists are concerned, accounts of gods traveling in the Ben could be a case of misunderstood technology.
All right, so what they're telling you on Ancient Aliens, basically, they're telling you, if you go back, let me give a little commentary on this clip. They're telling you that this god, Atum, which Carl and I have said in the past, you go through every civilization, and the ancient Atlantean religion was the worship of God's son, his holy elect one, which was Adam. And the Egyptians called him Atum, Anum, Atum Ra. And every civilization on the face of the earth where they find these giant pyramids or these sacred places, and no one can explain to you who and what they are. This basically was each one of the sons of God, of the sons of Adam, who ruled different parts of the earth. And what they're telling you here, it says, and when Satan was cast out from heaven, Adam was raised up so that he might ascend to paradise in a chariot of fire. And the angels went before him singing praises, and the seraphim ascribed holiness unto him, and the cherubim ascribed blessings. And amid cries of joys and praises, Adam went into paradise. So, in other words, Adam was raised to the God of this world, and the tesseract, or the earth matrix, was taken from Satan and it was given to Adam. Okay, having said that, let's move on to the next slide. And here we're going to go to a clip again from Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder. And like I said, in these superhero movies that are presented to people as myth or mythology or fantasy or science fiction, are based in 100% truth. So I'm going to play this clip right here. And this is a figure known as Darkseid. And as we've spoken in the past, Darkseid is Satan, and they just changed his name. And I'm going to let Hollywood explain to you what was the mindset of Satan after he fell.
Have you finished the conquest?
Not yet, Discern.
Then why do you summon me?
I bring news. Before mighty Darkseid came to the throne, he searched the universe for the ultimate weapon. The anti-life equation. The key to controlling all life and all will throughout the multiverse. He found it, hidden on a primitive planet, but before
The story of the Defiance is well known.
I have found the primitive planet, the world that fought back. It is Earth. The anti-life equation is carved into the surface of this very world.
Are you certain?
I have seen it. I have looked with my own eyes on anti-life.
Keen Vernal Conflict. Laventi and Archie.
My lord. Oh, Steppenwolf. My lord, I am but your humble servant.
Can it be true that you have found it?
I have, Great One. The lost world is Earth. Anti-life is here.
If it is redemption you seek, find the third box, synchronize the unity, and when this world is scorched, I will come for my great prize.
You will come to Earth.
I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust, looking for anti-life, looking for those who robbed me of my glory. I will stride across their bones and bask in the glow of anti-life, and all of existence shall be mine.
It shall be so, my master.
All right, so here again we have Hollywood telling you the past history, what happened, what caused the great war in the heaven. And this video is going to be a little on the heavy side with clips. because Hollywood puts truth, like I said, wrapped in fantasy and a veneer of science fiction. And we've asked, Carl and I have asked in the past, where do they get the inspiration? And you're going to find in some of the texts that we're going to read, or excuse me, that I'm going to read, is hidden in plain sight. So let's go to the Bible here, and I'm sure everyone's familiar with this. This is from the book of Revelations.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Moving on. All right, let me minimize this. Now, what do the ancient texts say about the battle in the heavens? That was the version from the Bible, from the King James, which is very vague, and it doesn't give a lot of description of what actually happened. And did this battle extend beyond the heavens? Was it actually on the earth? And we've read this in the past, and I'm going to go over this again. And then I'm going to connect this to another Hollywood clip. So, having said that, the fathers of the Egyptian and Ethiopian churches treat the story of the fall of Satan in great detail. According to them, Satan, or Satnael, was greatly astonished at the beauty and splendor of the sun and the moon. Let me pause. So here the translators have gotten a hold of this text, like they do everything, and they hide the meaning from you. So Satan was greatly astonished at the beauty and splendor of the sun in the sky and our moon. No, this is a mistranslation, and it should read the Son of God, Adam, which is the male, and the moon, the feminine, the female, Eve. So if Satan was God's holy angel, Satnael, and he's been in the heavens and he saw how everything worked, and he was the greatest of all the angels, you're telling me that he was amazed by the sun and the moon? No, this is, like I said, a mistranslation. And he is speaking of the creation of Adam before Adam was raised to his glory, God's holy elect one, Emmanuel, God with us. And that is the correct meaning. He was astonished at the beauty of Adam and Eve. And on the fourth day of the week, he declared to himself that he would set his throne above the stars and make himself equal to God. 1 week after the creation of Adam. So if he was greatly astonished here at the sun and the moon, then why on the fourth day of the week? Now, this obviously is not a 24-hour day period. I don't know how long this is. But here it's obviously telling you that 1 week after God created Adam, this is what caused Satan to declare war on the host of the Almighty God. And these were commanded by Michael and consisted of 120,000 horsemen, 600,000 shield bearers, 700,000 mail-clad horsemen in chariots of fire, 700,000 torch bearers, 800,000 angels with daggers of fire, 1 million slingers, 500,000 bearers of axes of fire, 300,000 bearers of fiery crosses, and 400,000 bearers of lamps. The angels uttered their battle cries and began to fight, but Satan charged them and dispersed them. They reformed, but again, Satan charged them and put them to flight. Then God gave the angels the cross of light, which bore the legend, in the name of the Father, Emmanuel, God, Jesus Christ, and his son Adam, Atum, Anum, and the Holy Ghost. And when they attacked the host of darkness under this cross, Satan became faint, and he and his forces withdrew, and Michael hurled them down into hell. So this is actually a lot more in depth than the Revelation story. But as you go through these texts, these hidden texts, it you know, like the book of Esther will give you a different meaning, and they all pretty much say the same thing. But I would say that our friend Christopher Nolan, like I said in the past in our last show, that he is a high priest, whatever you want to call him, in the mystery schools, and he's literally putting true history in your face, veiled as mythology. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in this next clip here. All right, I'm going to go through the actual battle scene, the battle in the heavens and on the earth. And I'm going to pause going through this, and I'm going to connect this battle that Christopher Nolan is telling you, hidden in plain sight, as fantasy that, in my opinion, is more realistic than what the Bible says. The Bible is very vague, and I'm not attacking the Bible. I'm simply just giving my opinion. But the battle is very vague. They fought the dragon and Michael and the archangels, and he was thrown down in the earth, but you hear nothing about the actual battle itself. And where did that battle extend? Was it in the heavens? What were they fighting for? And obviously it was territory, ground, the earth, the actual ruler of the projection matrix that we live in, known as the earth. So having said that, let me start here.
To invade, to conquer. They came here once before, long ago. A great armada appeared in the sky, laying waste to all who opposed it. The leader of the invaders was a being called Darkseid, a name cursed and feared in every universe. Darkseid was met in battle by Earth's defenders, the old gods, men, Atlanteans before their descent into the sea.
Now notice she said Atlanteans before their descent into the sea. In other words, before Adam's fall. These are the gods across the earth that every civilization on the planet has their own version of, but it's the same exact gods, Adam and his sons. So continuing.
Amazons before their betrayal and enslavement, and guardians from the stars.
Now she says something very cryptic again. Guardians from the stars. And according to the text, as well as the Bible, the guardians of the stars or the heavens are Michael and the archangels. So it tells you that it gives you an actual number. Now, I don't know how accurate this text is, but it's one of the only texts that I could find that actually give you a detailed version of this battle that took place for control of the earth. And it tells you here, it says 1 week after Adam was created, or 1 week after the creation of Adam, Satan declared war on the host of the Almighty. Why would Satan declare war on the living God and all the angels in the heavens? Because of Adam. Well, the control of the earth tesseract in the known universe that is projected into this tesseract through pyramidal projection technology was taken from him, and he fell, and it was given to Adam, and he is not giving up without a fight. So having said that, let's continue in the video.
Their histories had taught them not to trust each other, not to hope for an alliance, to fight apart.
So I'm going to stop here when Satan lands on the earth and he jumps down. And the first thing he does, he picks up the dust. And Mr. Nolan is telling you, he's hiding it in plain sight, what the ancient text tells you, that Satan said it right out of his mouth. He said that I will not worship Adam, and said to his host, you will not worship him, and you will not praise him with the angels. So in other words, God told all the angels, the first one he commanded was Michael, to bow to his image, his son, Adam, Atum, Anum, I am, as the Mayans called him, and they were told to bow to my image, and they all did so. The only one that would not do it was Satan, and he said, you will not praise him with the angels. It is meet that you should worship me, because I am fire and spirit, and not I should worship a thing of dust, which hath been fashioned of dust. So in other words, this clip is showing you, let me continue with the clip. He lands on the earth. He takes up a handful of dust. He looks at it in disgust and then lets it pass through his hand. And he's declared war on the heavens and Adam, our father, the creator of all, and his sons, the children of Adam. This was the very first battle. And the Bible does not tell you that the sons of God, it has been hidden in religion. And here they have it, they're revealing it to you through Hollywood. And this lines up exactly with the hidden text. And he looks at this dust, it passed through his hands, and he declares war and attacks. Now, if you look real quick, this is a hidden symbol that Mr. Nolan has put in front of you. This is a pyramidal symbol here. Now, we don't have the bottom of the base, but it's a pyramid symbol with lines. And then here we have a circle within a circle. You can say this, what they're calling this is the anti-life equation, because our Father's the creator and he's the destroyer. Satan is the destroyer, doesn't create anything. Or you can say this is an omega symbol that is symbolic of Satan coming into possession of builder technology, God builder technology. So here they lay out the pyramid and the circle of Saturn with its rings, symbolic of Satan. So let's continue.
As Darkseid waged war on Earth, he found a secret there, a power hidden in the infinity of space. He called forth mystics who worshipped and controlled three objects, the Mother Boxes.
Wait. Mother Boxes?
Indestructible living machines. Made from a science so advanced, it looks like sorcery. To conquer, three boxes have to synchronize and join together into the Unity. The Unity cleanses a planet with fire, transforming it into a copy of the enemy's world. All who live become servants of Darkseid, alive but drained of life. Parademons.
So backing up.
The Mother Boxes.
Wait.
War on Earth, he found a secret there, a power hidden in the infinity of space. He called forth mystics who worshipped and controlled three objects, the Mother Boxes.
Wait. Mother Boxes?
Indestructible living machines. Made from a science so advanced, it looks like sorcery. Three boxes have to synchronize and join together into the Unity. The Unity cleanses a planet with fire, transforming it into a copy of the enemy's world. All who live become servants of Darkseid.
So let's fast forward and let's see what these three mother boxes are. We're going to go, okay, we're going to go to the 12 pyramids of Thoth here, and we're going to explain exactly what Mr. Nolan is telling you, what these mother boxes are, known as the tesseract or the cubes of creation. So let's get into this. At the time of my writing, these 12 pyramids stood on a physical planet placed there by design. Though each pyramid may appear to the human eye to look like the others, remember, each one is unique in frequency and purpose. Within each of the 12 pyramids were three entities for a total of 36 creational forces. And these 36 forces set down upon the earth life forms of different shapes and designs. They used energies of light and tones of crystals to create. When the 36 were complete, they left the surface of the planet in their pyramids and remained outside the physical planet, where they created a grid system which linked together all things on and off the planet. This was in the form of a matrix web at that time. I thought would be a scribe and teacher within the matrix, came to this place and wrote a book for you to find at this time. So in other words, Mr. Nolan, let's back up. Let's back up here.
To invade, to conquer. He called forth mystics who worshipped and controlled three objects, the mother boxes.
Wait. Mother boxes?
Indestructible living machines. Made from a science so advanced, it looks like sorcery.
So she is telling you that these three mother boxes are living machines, indestructible living machines. So when you read the 12 pyramids of Thoth, Thoth, the Atlantean, or Enoch, or Hermes, or Melchizedek, whatever you want to say, he tells you within each of the 12 pyramids were three entities or gods for a total of 36 creational forces. So Satan, he somehow usurped or stole this technology, and he was going to use this technology to destroy and to rewrite the universe that we live in, that the known universe, into what he thought it should be his universe, and basically destroy what the Most High had created using God's own technology. So if we back up here one more time, she's going to tell you what these mother boxes are, and she says it in a cryptic way.
Who worshipped and controlled three, looks like sorcery. To conquer, three boxes have to synchronize and join together into the unity.
Okay, so they have to. These boxes, the mother boxes have to come together, and they to in other words, the three must become one. These entities must become one to create under our Father's hand or his word. He speaks the word into these boxes, which there are three per 12 pyramid, giving you a total of 36 creational forces. So having said that, let's hear her semantics hoax, what she calls them, Wonder Woman.
The defenders of Earth made a vow. Men, Atlanteans, and Amazons. Each would enshrine and guard one of the three sleeping mother boxes according to their rites and falling asleep, awaiting their return. Fading from the view of the enemy, anonymous among a trillion worlds. defenders of Earth made a vow. Men, Atlanteans, did what no world had ever done. Sent the enemies back into the stars. The three mother boxes never synchronized. The unity never came to pass. But in their retreat, the boxes were left behind on Earth. They grew weak, dogs without masters.
So here she's telling you that the mother boxes grew weak because they didn't have anyone to give them a word or vibrational control through cymatics or through the word, which commanded these boxes to synchronize into one, the three becoming one and creating. So Satan came into possession of these. I believe he probably stole the things, and he came into possession of these, and he tried to destroy the earth with God's own technology, and he was stopped by the sons of God along with Michael and the archangels. And basically what they're telling you is what Wonder Woman is saying. She's saying that they were dogs without masters. Well, in the Emerald Tablets calls them entities. These are gods, entities, the living machines. And she calls them dogs, or a dog. You spell dog backwards, and that means God or gods is what she's trying to tell you here. But she's using a semantics hoax, and she's reversing the language right in front of you, reversing the word to confuse you.
Falling asleep, awaiting their return.
Now, here they're going to show you exactly how this mechanism of creation works. Like Carl and I said in the past, that the reality racial light energy projection pyramids were pyramids of creation, congealing light, making bodies for all living beings to be inhabited by light spirits that come from above, or whatever projection point they're from in the universe. So here, Mr. Nolan is going to show you, give you a quick illustration of a translucent pyramid taking the light from the sun and beaming that light into the tesseract, or one of the mother boxes, activating it. So here we have the translucent pyramid right here. They lift the box up, the wall, and bam, here we have the translucent pyramid taking sunlight from the portal from above. The sun is nothing but a giant lens, I believe, taking light from a higher dimension, beaming it onto the earth, giving life to the earth. Like Jesus says, I am the light of the world. And this light is interacting with this entity, this living machine, one of the three, and it's activating this. For what purpose they're showing in the clip, I have no idea. But I think Mr. Nolan is giving you an example of how this technology works. And this is God technology, billions of years ahead of anything that we have. One more time. Carl and I did a recent experiment where we had a translucent pyramid like this, and we projected at a very elementary level, by the way, but it projected light from a flat plane or a cell phone, and it projected whatever we programmed into it. So Mr. Nolan is showing you here how your reality is projected and how this third dimension was created, hidden in plain sight, right in your face as fantasy sci-fi. Now, a side note, I'd like to go back and I would like to attach some of the first battle to the ancient text. Now, some of you can say, oh, this is, Joe, it's a bit of a stretch. Okay, yeah, it might be, but I find it I find it ironic that they're almost verbatim in this clip of this battle scene, going word by word from the Cave of Treasures in these other Ethiopic writings. So having said that, let me give you an example.
To invade.
Boxes?
Indestructible. All who live become servants of Darkseid. Alive, but drained of life. Parademons.
Okay, so the Queen of the Amazons screams. She yells and says, Amazons activating her forces or commanding them, it's time. Let's go to war. So if we read here the Ethiopic text, it says, it tells you the number of the forces that fought Satan and his angels, commanded by Michael in the heavens. It doesn't say anything about what happened on the earth, like we were just bystanders. And that is not correct on any level. And that history has been hidden from you. And I'm going to just go over the text real fast, briefly, and I'm going to attach it to this, what Mr. Nolan is telling you. He says, commanded by Michael, 120,000 horsemen, 600,000 shield bearers, 700,000 mail-clad horsemen and chariots of fire, 700,000 torchbearers, 800,000 angels with daggers of fire, 1 million slingers, 500,000 bearers of axes of fire. So if you notice, these are weapons of fire. This is a high technology that we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people yielding a very high technology with like weapons out of Star Trek or beyond Star Trek. And it says that they had 300,000 bearers of fiery crosses and 400,000 bearers of lamps. Now, this is key. The angels uttered their battle cry and began to fight. Let's see what they do here in this war scene.
Of life. Parademons.
The angels uttered their battle cries and began to fight. Now, if you notice in the battle, here we have the gods leading the charge, and we stop right here. This is Ares. Look at Ares' arms. They are light energy coming out of his arms. This is Ares' sister. Her name in the Greek was Aglia. In the Hebrew, one of Adam's daughters, her name was Aklima or Aklia. And you can go on and on through the different civilizations, and it tells you that he had daughters. Zeus's daughter was Aglia. In the Hebrew, Adam's daughter was Aklima, and their weapons were virtually identical. Ares was the god of war, and the Egyptian pantheon, Set, S-E-T, Set, or Seth, if you add an H, was also known as the god of war. This is not by coincidence. They are speaking of the same gods. Okay, continuing. Now, if you notice here, we have a green lantern. And if you look, this is a monkey creature, a big, tall monkey creature, a being that is half monkey. I don't know. I don't want to say he's half human, but he's definitely a monkey hominid, whatever you want to call him. And I find it ironic that in the Vedic text written by the Aryans, not the people that dwell in India today, the Aryans, our race, wrote those texts. The Aryans were the descendants of the Atlanteans. They wrote those texts, and in the actual their depictions of this battle in the heavens, you see these beings flying and fighting the forces of the opposing force. So having said that, continuing.
Before the Unity could synchronize, the defenders of Earth attacked and fought as one. Amazons alongside Atlanteans.
Now, this is key what she says. Amazons alongside Atlanteans. These Atlanteans, they lived in the outer rings of Atlantis, and each one of these civilizations had their own kingdom of humans that they ruled over. So each one of Adam's sons had a region of the earth. What she says here is key in this battle. She says basically that they fight, and it's Zeus and his son Ares, or Adam and Seth, and they are fighting Satan on the earth alongside the guardians of the stars or the sky.
Zeus and his son Ares alongside the guardians from the sky.
And if you look at Ares' hands right here, he's in a humanoid flesh body, very big, but he has the light of our Father, Jesus Christ, in his DNA. And these are the gods that every ancient civilization spoke about, who walked with men, that they tell you is mythology. And in reality, this was real history before the fall of Adam, before he was placed into a flesh body and became a human and lived among human beings as a human being. But before that fall, and it doesn't, I can't find anywhere in my studies where they tell you how long that the gods actually ruled. And the closest thing I could find to that is in the Sumerian text, where they talk about the Anunnaki. Well, Anu is another way of saying Anu, Anum, Atum, Adam, or I am, as the Mayans called him. So let's continue.
A golden age of heroes fighting together to defend life on Earth.
Now, if you notice, Poseidon is attacking. Now, I haven't been able to make a connection with Poseidon other than they say he was a brother of Zeus or an El. Satan himself was known as an El, Satne El, before he fell. And that just means the El is the light of our Father, Emmanuel, Israel, El being the God of light, the Father of light, the Father of the gods. And I don't know if Poseidon is one of the angels that are on the earth. Obviously, Poseidon was the god of the ocean, or this could be one of the civilizations that live inside of the earth, like a Shambhala type scenario. But that's just thinking out loud there. I don't have any proof on that. I haven't been able to make any connections, like I said, because the text have been hidden from us. But continuing. This is Seth attacking Satan, and now Zeus, or Adam, strikes him with this axe. And if you look at the axe, now this may be a stretch, but I'm just going to read it out of the text. It says, the angels uttered their battle cry and began to fight, but Satan charged and dispersed them. They reformed, but again Satan charged them and put them to flight. Then God, or then El, the Father El, the Father of light, God, our Father, gave the angels, or gave his son. You think he's going to give his angels high-tech weaponry and not his son? Of course he's going to give his son weapons. This is why if you look into Greek mythology, it's always presented that the only weapon that Zeus has was a thunderbolt. That's not true. Actually, one of his other weapons, he carried a staff and he carried an axe, a double-sided axe. And if you look at this axe, you take away the blades inside, it is in the form of a cross. Now you read the weapons that God gave Michael the archangels, and obviously his sons. it said daggers of fire, shield bearers, angels, slingers, 500,000 bearers of axes of fire. Axes of fire. So this is a light weapon from the heavens given to his sons to defeat this demon. And you read this, and it says, I'm going to continue with the text. It says, then God gave the angels, and also his son Adam. I'm adding that, the cross of light, or the axe of light, which bore the legend in the name of the Father and the Son Adam. So Father El, Jesus, the light of the world, and his son Adam with his Holy Ghost, his Holy Spirit. And when they attacked the host of darkness under this cross, Satan became faint. How did he become faint? Well, Mr. Nolan is showing you right here. Adam attacked him. Zeus hit him, and he's gushing blood, a death blow, and he kicks him. And that's no ordinary kick. Now, is this make-believe? Yeah, it could be, sure. But I don't think it's there. I don't think that they put this in the battle. This is not an accident, and they don't operate that way. They're telling you hidden history, cloaked as, like I said earlier, as mythology and fairy tale. So you hit this. Let's start this again. And when he kicks him, and that was an energy kick. I mean, obviously this is one of the gods, and they're still attacking. And we go to the next clip. We go to the next clip and we start it. And Satan became faint. How did he become faint? Because he received a death blow from Adam, from the Son of God, the reflection of our Father. And if you look at this weapon that he has, this is very similar to the German cross that they used during World War II. And if you look at the symbol of this is in the shape or symbol of a cross. And the ancient text tells you, the Ethiopic text tells you that God gave him this weapon. This was a high technology weapon used to attack the Satnael, or Satan, and he was dealt a death blow by the god Zeus, but they're all fighting together as one unit with the gods, with the angels of the heavens, or as Wonder Woman called them, the guardians of the heavens. So continuing. Parademon creatures put him back in the ship, and he faints. He's done. And it mirrors exactly what the texts say. Then God gave the angels the cross of light, or the axe of light, which bore the legend in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. And when they attacked the host of darkness under this cross weapon, Satan became faint, and he and his forces withdrew. Well, let's see what they say about the battle here. If you notice, Poseidon, this is Poseidon, which I believe is one of the heavenly angels. He's given the trident, and this weapon, the trident, has power. It's emanating like a light pulse and defeats them. It's wiping out these parademons in droves. And the only way, hold on, let me go in here to Ares. Ares has energy, light coming out, and he hits these three boxes, the mother boxes, and prevents the unity from the destruction of the earth, and they send them back to where they came from.
They did what no world had ever done. Sent the enemies back into the stars.
And if you notice here, You say, well, why do you think that Poseidon is one of the angels? Because if you notice right here on his forehead, the crown that he's wearing, this is his crown of glory. And the symbol within his crown is the same symbol that Superman wears on his chest. It's a two-sided truncated upside down pyramid facing up, meaning he is a projection, an angel of light, an L being projected down to the earth inside of the earth matrix. But he is not like the other lesser men on the planet. He is a god. He is one of, now, could he be one of God's sons? Sure. God had many sons, according to the book of Job.
The three mother boxes never synchronized. They did what no world had ever done. Sent the enemies back into the stars.
Sent the enemies back into the stars. And when they attacked the host of darkness under this cross weapon, Satan became faint, and he and his forces withdrew. That's exactly what she just told you. Now, this is the connection of Zeus and Adam. It says, this is from the first sentence right here is from, we've gone over this before, the books of Adam and Eve. The crystal sea, God commands Adam, expelled from Eden, to dwell in the cave of treasures. Zeus grew up in the cave where he was tucked away in the certain mountains, Cretan mountains. Who was Ares? Ares was the ancient Greek god of war, or more properly, the spirit of battle. Ares is the son of Zeus, who was Set, also known as Seth, and Sekteth or Sukteth was the Egyptian god of war. Luke 3:38 explains exactly who this same character is. Enos, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, and Seth. All just different pronunciations of the same person, but through different aspects of his life. When he was the god of war, he was in God form, just like they showed you in the clip where he had the actual light coming out of his body. Seth was the god of war, and right here, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. Okay, so right there, they're telling you exactly how creation, or how the earth and our universe was created, and they're putting it into a science fiction movie. Like I said before, Hollywood tells you, and in my opinion, they're some of the best teachers if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. But of course, you have to take into consideration it's always from their perspective. So having said that, let's see what Captain James T. Kirk has to say about the creation technology. Let's see what he says.
Scan.
Kirk, Admiral James T.
Security scan approved.
Summary, please.
Project Genesis, a proposal to the Federation.
Carol Marcus.
Yes.
What exactly is Genesis? Well, put simply, Genesis is life from lifelessness. It is a process whereby molecular structure is reorganized at the subatomic level into life-generating matter of equal mass. Stage 1 of our experiments was conducted in the laboratory. Stage 2 of the series will be attempted in a lifeless underground. Stage 3 will involve the process on a planetary scale. It is our intention to introduce the Genesis device into a pre-selected area of a lifeless space body, a moon or other dead form. The device is delivered, instantaneously causing what we call the Genesis effect. Matter is reorganized with life-generating results. Instead of a dead moon, a living, breathing planet capable of sustaining whatever life forms we see fit to deposit on it.
Fascinating.
The reformed moon simulated here represents the merest fraction of the Genesis potential, should the Federation wish to fund these experiments to their logical conclusion. When we consider the cosmic problems of population and food supply, the usefulness of this process becomes clear. This concludes our proposal. Thank you for your attention.
It literally is Genesis.
Our creation.
Have they proceeded with their experiments?
Well, the tape was made about a year ago, so I can only assume they've reached stage 2 by now. But dear Lord, do you think we're intelligent enough to... Suppose... What if this thing we use where life already exists?
It would destroy such life in favor of its new matrix.
It's new matrix. Do you have any idea what you're saying?
I was not attempting to evaluate its moral implications, Doctor. As a matter of cosmic history...
Stage 2 by now.
So if you go back here, Dr. McCoy asked Mr. Spock, what happens if this device was used or is used where life already exists? And Spock tells him it would destroy such life in favor of its new matrix. Okay, so that word is used over and over and over. One can look up the definition of a matrix, but in this context, they're speaking about pyramidal projection, tesseract world building technology. So let's go through that again.
Dear Lord, do you think we're intelligent enough to... Suppose... What if this thing we use where life already exists?
It would destroy such life in favor of its new matrix.
It's new matrix. Do you have any idea what you're saying?
I was not attempting to evaluate its moral implications, Doctor. As a matter of cosmic history, it has always been easier to destroy than to create.
Not anymore. Now we can do both at the same time. According to myth, the Earth was created in 6 days. Now watch out. Here comes Genesis. We'll do it for you in 6 minutes.
Really, Dr. McCoy, you must learn to govern your passions. They will be your undoing. Logic suggests...
Logic? My God, the man's talking about logic. We're talking about universal Armageddon. You green-blooded inhuman.
So in that clip there, and along with the other movie clips, they literally check every single box as far as the rules of engagement, and they are telling you in your face, at the same time laughing at our ignorance. They're telling you reality cloaked with a science fiction overlay on top of it, or cloaked as mythology and fantasy. So having said that, just a couple, let me see, I guess a side note on what we were talking about earlier about Zeus being Adam. Here's an ancient coin that I managed to find an image of, and this is Zeus right here with his double-headed axe in the form of a cross with his staff. And this is that's the same staff mentioned in the book of Enoch and in the other text when God put Adam in his glory on his holy seat, that he gave him the staff of power. The same magically, Moses has this same staff, and this staff is passed down all the way to Judah. But this, I believe it's the same staff. So having said that, a little side note there, we're going through the ley lines, as Carl had mentioned in the past, which is a brilliant observation. And I looked this up, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. I didn't take a note down on that, but he's the one who discovered the ley lines on the earth. But here you see pyramidal ley lines in certain areas. You have the Devil's Triangle, but it's pyramid after pyramid after pyramid in certain ley lines, and you have all type of strange phenomena that happen in these regions all over the planet. So having said that, let's move on to the next one. All right, we're going to get back into the 12 pyramids of Thoth, and I'm going to read, I keep saying I miss my partner, Carl. I'm going to read this text here, and we're going to attach this also to other movie clips. So it says the Antarctic pyramid projection points, portals from higher dimensions into the matrix. The first pyramid is presently located in the grid over the area you call the Antarctica, which would be considered a portal to other planetary grid systems. The soul who oversees this pyramid goes by the frequency signature Uranthus. This function of this pyramid is to create and guide experiences linked to the coming and goings of extraterrestrial entities who were a part of the history of planet Earth. And there were many entities from these faraway worlds that were once part of the story of your planet. Their journeys encoded within the matrix by Uranthus and his two assistants, their souls having experienced through the energy of this pyramid as those who come from Sirius, Nibiru, Orion, Lyra, the Pleiades, Mars, Andromeda, Arcturus, Vega, Venus, Jupiter, among others familiar to you. And so the storylines would read that these entities came to your planet in great spaceships. Let me read that again. And so the storyline would read that these entities came to your planet in great spaceships and interacted with those who lived on the planet, in the water and others below the surface. And there was created a tale of a great spaceship buried beneath a giant lion who serves as a marker. And similar stone markers were left on every place created in the heavens, which links to the matrix. Let me give commentary on this one sentence right here. It all correlates, but in similar stone markers were left on every place created in the heavens, which linked to the matrix. So this pyramidal projection tesseract technology and these ships, they're all linked to different projection points from higher and lower dimensions into the Earth matrix to experience this physical existence, and is what this is telling you. So continuing, these souls would carry the memories of these distant worlds, often as a truer reality than which they came here to embrace. So that's kind of a cryptic sentence there. It says that their reality is truer than this one. So are they telling you that you're in a dream? Just throwing that out there. It says that these souls would carry the memories from distant worlds, often as truer reality than which they came here to embrace. And when this book is found, the ice shall melt from this place, revealing starships created by this pyramid. Remember, these pyramids, along with the tesseract, can take light at a subatomic level and congeal this light into solid matter that's experienced by us in this third dimension. So having said that, let me continue. An experience to those who would come to these creational forces for guidance. And Uranthus shall guide their souls through this geometric matrix so they may remember and join with other expressions of creation, of their creation. And I have to touch on that. That's a very cryptic sentence there. They shall, and Uranthus shall guide their souls through this geometric matrix. The geometric matrix means different bodies, so they may remember and join with other expressions of their creation. Other expressions of their, I'm sorry, let me back up here. Let me go forward. Other expressions of their creation. Well, what are they trying to tell you here? Well, what they're saying is that these geometric forms, as we said in the past, are your bodies. The Vitruvian man, this is the human body. But they said that in the past, through different time cycles, that you had expressions of different creations. In other words, different bodies, different types of bodies. And soulmates shall meet in many worlds and forms, and they shall join in union, then be thrust apart to once again rejoin in other worlds. So in other words, your soulmate, that's the saying of your soulmate, where that you have been with your soulmate through other expressions of creation in other worlds and other time cycles, to be thrust apart only to regain a connection with each other again. That's the power of love. Love is the power that that drives that reconnection. And that's a higher vibrational emotion. And demons can't feed off of that emotion. That's beyond them, that concept. There's no love in demons. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the videos and see what they're saying. Let me back up one more time. And let's read this again. It says that there were great spaceships buried beneath great lions as markers. Okay, so let's go here and see what YouTube has to say about this.
So in Syria, there's a site called Ain Dara. Not only is it unlike anything else in that region, but before we were able to even study it, the Turkish government destroyed it in 2018 as an accident, they state. Now, what's so crazy about this place is that when they first discovered it, they found this multi-ton massive basalt lion. They realized that the entire temple was built out of basalt. And as far as they know, there's very few places in the world that you can even see that, because basalt is so hard. It's such a hard material to work with, but it mimics the same use of basalt that we find at the Lake Von Ararat civilization. With Kavis Tepe and Kefkalesi, they only used basalt there. So it's interesting that we're finding the same lion depictions and the same depictions from that region all of a sudden that we are here, showing you evidence of the way they went. Basically, if you imagine that these sons and these sages, these creators of these civilizations, are creating something and they're moving on.
So the sons and the sages that this gentleman, who's an excellent researcher, he's talking about the sons of El, of our father Emmanuel, and his son Israel, who is Adam. And yes, El is our father, Elohim, not Yahweh. Yahweh was that was another deity brought in, and they talk about the Canaanites and how they worship the Els. And Carl and I in the future are going to do a show explaining that. We're going to go into great depth and detail and explain the difference between the God El and the God Yahweh, who is not a God at all. But just as a side note, I'll throw out there, when our Father Jesus Christ changed Israel's name, or Jacob, to Israel, he didn't call him Israel. He called him Israel, which means backwards El Ra-is, God's sons of light. El, the father of light. So having said that, back to this gentleman's telling you that these sons, these creators, these sons, that there are spaceships all over the earth, even in Antarctica, with a lion as a marker covering a buried spaceship as proof that others came to this earth in the past from different projection points and came to this earth to experience this three-dimensional flesh reality that we live in, manifesting from a higher dimension or maybe lower dimensions. So having said that, let's move to the next clip. If you notice, all over the earth, we have these sacred sites all over the planet, and no one knows who they are. And like Carl and I have said in the past, the gods that they speak of are literally Adam, the son of God, Luke 3:38, but from the perspective of the people that they were ruling and in the language that they spoke. And they have hidden this from you. So the original Atlantean religion was the religion of the one God, but our Father, El, Jesus Christ, relegated this authority to his sons. And the Old Testament tells you that I'm a jealous God. And so, in other words, this is a God that would never share his divinity with anyone. So that's why I tell you, this is the Yahweh, the God of the cube, Saturnel, Satan. And he would never share divinity with anyone. He said, I'm a jealous God. He's the only one that can rule. But our Father, Jesus the Christ, gave or shared his divinity with his sons, Adam. And here in this ancient Mayan ruins, if you they hide it in plain sight. The Mayan, or Maya reversed, is Ayam. Ayam equals Adam, anglicized, the son of God. And if you look this up, it says I'm going to kill these words. Itzamna, creator God. Itzamna was amongst the oldest and most important gods in the Mayan or Adamic Atlantean religion. He was the son, not the S-U-N, he was the son, they get it right here, of the creator God, Hunab Ku, and he was associated with the sun, S-U-N, God, Kanich, Ahu, and Hunab, Ku, equals the one God. Well, if you break this word down, Hunab, okay, you look at the last two letters and you get rid of the N-U-H. Ab is the root word of Abba, Father. So and Ku equals the one God. So Father, our Father, the one God, and his son, Adam. And if you look, this is Altun Ha Mayan ruins. Okay, Ha just means Ra. Ra means the sun, S-U-N, which is the S-O-N, and the two correlate with each other because the rays of the sun come through the lens of the sun, because it's basically that. The sun is not a ball of burning gas like they tell you. It's a lens from a higher dimension, and the light that flows from that through that lens comes through that lens and gives light to the world. And that fire, or that heat, or the light projection, comes from the footstool of our Father. And just like in the Emerald Tablets, where it says, literally says that from my footstool, 4 rivers of fire emanate down to the earth. And in those 4 rivers of fire come the different genetic strands of his children. So having said that, moving on, we're going to go to the Egyptian god Ptah. They always speak about Ptah and ancient aliens, but they never tell you who he is. And I'm going to decipher that for you tonight. It says Ptah is variously described as the creator in heaven and earth, who has made all things, the Lord of all that is and is not, the Father, this is key, the Father of the Son God. The Son God? No, the Father of the Son of God, or the Son of God. So he's the Son of our Father. Elohim, Israel, Emmanuel, God with us. Jesus was born. They called him Emmanuel, God with us. El with us, God, the Lord. And he is known as, Ptah is known as the Lord of truth, the Father of the fathers of the gods. Hold on, let me move this right here. The Father of the gods, the King of both worlds, and the God of light, which shows everything in its true form, the ruler of the sky. Ptah, the Egyptian god of art and creation. Ptah was the Egyptian god said to have created the cosmos. He was a maker and creator and patriarch of craftsmen. That means builders, especially sculptors. The Greeks identified Ptah with Hephaestus. I think I pronounced that right. Sorry if I killed that. The god of craftsmen or builders, the builder race, and artisans, including, this is key, metalworks, carpenters. Jesus was known as a carpenter, sculptors, and blacksmith. This is all metaphor for building civilizations and building worlds. That's the deeper meaning. In John 14:6, it says, Jesus said unto him, I am the way and the truth. So we go up here. Ptah is known as the Lord of truth, or the God of truth. And Jesus is telling you, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no man comes to the Father but by me, because this is the Father in a flesh manifestation upon the earth, known as Jesus. Then spake Jesus unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. Well, we go up here, and it says that he made all things, the Father, the Son, the Father, the Father, both kings, and he is the God of light. The God of light. Ptah says this, and Jesus says the same thing. I am the light of the world, and I am the God of light, which shows everything in its true form. Or in other words, I am the God of light, which projects or creates everything through a projection in its true form. And I am the ruler of the heavens and the earth and the creator of all. So we finish up here in the Bible, and it says, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And now here we go through what Ptah is. He is the Lord of truth, and Jesus is telling you, I am truth. Ptah and Jesus are one and the same. Just they're different languages, different civilizations, different time periods of the cycle, but the same God, El Emmanuel, God with us. So Psalms 82:6, the God El Ra is God, sons of light. This is Jesus speaking. El, the Most High, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you, the Anglo-Saxon, Scandinavian, Nordic, Basque, Lombard, and Germanic people of our race, the Caucasian race, are the children of the Most High God, but ye shall die like men. Remember, God told Adam, if you eat of this fruit, ye shall die. That means he would be placed in a flesh body and he would become a flesh man and die like the other men and fall like one of the princes. And Matthew 17:20, mind over matter. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you. This is a very cryptic saying Jesus is telling you. In other words, if you have faith and believe that ye are a God, that's not an arrogance, but ye are a son of God, and you have pride in your special heritage, and you understand creation and the secrets of creation are revealed to you, that you will speak and you will yield the power of the tetragrammaton, and you will speak, and through your word, being a son of the Most High, you can move mountains and change the creation. That's just my understanding of this from a deeper level other than the Judeo-Christian version. So having said that, this is going to give you an illustration. I threw this in there because, as we said before, Adam, we've read in the ancient text, the Ethiopic text of the forgotten books of Eden, of Adam and Eve, about how Adam fell to the earth. And they're telling you in Hollywood through Thor and medieval gods, they're telling you about Thor's fall. So I'm going to play it here just to give you an understanding of what Hollywood is trying to tell you here.
The 9 realms laugh at us. If the old ways are done, you'd stand giving speeches while Asgard falls.
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy!
And you are an old man and a fool!
Yes. I was a fool. To think you were ready.
Father.
Hey! Thor, Odin's son, you have betrayed the express command of your king. Through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and desolation of war! You are unworthy of these realms, unworthy of your title! You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed. I now take from you your power in the name of my father and his father before. I own it all, father! Cut you off! Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
So if you notice here, this is the story of Odin and Thor, and this is also known as mythology, Norse mythology. And Adam Thor is an atom. He's literally an atom figure, but this is through the generations, this story was told from the viewpoint or through the lens of the actual people. And the story obviously gets changed and watered down, but the premise of the story remains the same. So if you watch this, Thor is stripped of his power and found unworthy. And his father Odin comes up to him and he strips off he tells him, you are unworthy of the 9 realms. So in other words, when Adam was raised up to his divinity over the known universe and the known multiverse through the Tesseract and the pyramidal projection technology, our father El, Jesus, took it from him, and he told him, you're unworthy of your title and you're unworthy of the 9 realms, and I hereby cast you out. And if you notice, he opens a portal of light. This is a projection point, as I've been saying in the show. And now he's being cast out from a higher dimension, and he's going to be cast onto the earth. So let's go to the next slide here. And
get closer. Right, good one. Go!
Do me a favor and don't be dead. Please.
So what they're telling you here in this video, or in this show, Thor, that Adam was found unworthy, and this is metaphor for the Atlantean tale of when Adam ate of the forbidden tree and mixed his DNA, his God DNA, with satanic DNA, just as Eve did, and he was cast out. His father found him unworthy, stripped him of his title, and he was cast from a dimension from above. If you notice, as they're driving and they see this light portal coming down to the earth. And in this portal, there you go, there's a portal right there. Let me back up. In that light portal, it's coming from above. It's coming from the heavens or a higher dimension. And he's being projected. So in other words, Adam has been projected into a flesh body. And this has this, like I said, a science fiction overlay with the Marvel superheroes, but they get all of their inspiration from the ancient text. And they've relegated the history of the Caucasian people, the real children of Adam, and they've relegated our history to basically mythology. And they're telling you that it's fantasy, and they're making millions and millions of dollars off our story. Well, at the same time, they never tell you that this is your history, and they hide it in plain sight, checking all the boxes in the rules of engagement. So having said that, let's move to the next clip. I had mentioned in the previous show that Jor-El in the Superman movie actually steals the so-called codex, and I'm going to touch on that on the past show that we did, Carl and I did together, and I'm going to show you and explain to you what Hollywood is telling you. So please be patient with me, and I'll begin now. They're showing you again another version of the battles of the heavens and earth and on their planet. So this is from the heaven perspective, a higher dimension, and this is Jesus, but they've got a sci-fi superhero twist on it, and they tell you Jor-El steals the codex. The codex is the registry of souls or souls to be projected onto the earth into flesh bodies. And this is going to tell you from their perspective what happened in the heavens, from the heaven perspective, the heavenly perspective. Right. I'm going to reverse and I'm going to pause it. Pause it right here. Let's show the viewer something. So what they're showing you here, Jor-El, or the Jesus figure, is flying to the codex. The codex is within this tree. This is a hewn down tree. And inside the tree is the water. And he has to go inside the water. And they call this the Genesis chamber. So continuing.
Can you see the codex?
It's just beneath the central hub, sir. But I'm compelled to warn you. Breaching the Genesis chamber is a Class B crime, punishable.
Nobody cares anymore, Helix. The world is about to come to an end.
So these bodies that they're showing inside of the Genesis chamber right here, that Jor-El Jesus, these are, notice Jesus says you have to be born of the water. So these are the souls in human projection form, and the souls in the water upon their leaving. Like I said in the last show that we did, when Zod and his and Satan and his criminals were sent into the Phantom Zone, they were projected into the sperm. The water is the sperm. So this is the heavenly waters that they're speaking of the children of the Most High, to be projected into the planet, and they already have titles and jobs and that they're going to do upon Krypton, whether it's a carpenter or a warrior or a scientist. And they're showing you in a Matrix scenario that this Genesis chamber right here, this is the chamber that the Kryptonians, but from a higher understanding, is a soul. This is the hall of souls, is what they're telling you, in the living water. Now continuing. Now you notice that the DNA is encoded into this skull. And if you get into the ancient text, the 12 pyramids of Thoth, it tells you that life was created through the three mother boxes in conjunction with pyramids. And they use crystals and tones and sounds and harmonics to create crystals. Now, this is a stretch, but I noticed they're showing you a skull. Now, could this be the foundation of the actual crystal skulls that they have found on the earth, and they have no idea what they are? Is the crystal skull a literal blueprint of the human projection onto the earth using the light and sound frequency? So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that's 100% accurate, but I find it ironic that here Mr. Nolan is showing you a regular skull, but encoded in it genetics of every single soul that's going to be created on the planet Krypton is in this soul. And later when he sends Adam to Earth and he projects him from the higher dimension or sends him across the universe, he breaks this skull down into light particles and he infuses these light particles into his son. So just a side note there, let's continue.
Jor-El, by the authority of General Zod, surrender the Codex.
So he's saying that by the authority of Satan, surrender the genetics or the genetic code or the genetic template of every living being to Satan and his forces. And this is the battle of the heavens for control of creation. And now, obviously, this is from their perspective that Jor-El stole it, but he was the creator of it, of this entire science that they had in this movie. So continuing. We're going to move on to some of the ancient text, and this was the creation of Adam. And I am going to just beat this nail until it goes in. Because, like I said in the past, the central character of the Bible is literally Adam, and it tells you in Genesis 5:1 that this is the book of the generations, the genetics of Adam, the son of God. Okay, so let me start. It says Adam man. They use the man trick there, but this was Adam in God form and then projected into human flesh, man and the world. It says, with 10 sayings, God created the world. So the word of God created the world with 10 sayings. Although a single saying would have sufficed, God desired to make known how severe is the punishment to be meted out to the wicked who destroy a world created with as many as 10 sayings. So this is like they showed you in the Superman and the Justice League clip, the anti-life equation. So God tells you there's a severe punishment meted out to the wicked, Satan and his children, who destroy creation with as many as 10 sayings, and how goodly the reward destined for the righteous. The righteous are the sons of Adam and his sons, his Israel, God's sons of light. And that's not the place in the Middle East, who preserve a world created with as many as 10 sayings. The world was made for Adam. Let me read that again. The world was made for Adam. God's sons of light are a people. They are not a geographic location. They are a people. Keep that in mind. And they carry the genetic code of pure white energy light from a different projection point of Satan's children. And I'll touch on that later in the show. It said, let me start again. The world was made for Adam. Though he was the last comer amongst its creatures, this was design. He was to find all things ready for him. God was the father who prepared the dainty dishes, set the table, and led his son to his seat. At the same time, Adam's late appearance on earth is to convey an admonition to humility. Let him beware of being proud, lest he invite the retort of the gnat that is older than he. So that one, the superiority of Adam to the other creatures is apparent. So when the enemy hits you with words of white supremacy, this is the foundation of that. These ancient texts are explaining that this individual here, this son of God, was superior to the other creatures. He was not a creature. He was the very son, the reflection of his father, sent to rule over the earth. So let me start this again. The superiority of Adam to the other creatures is apparent in the very manner of his creation, altogether from theirs. He is the only one who was created by the hand of God. The rest sprang forth from the word of God. How does the word of God work? He gives the command into the tesseract creational entities, the living machines, and through light projection, whatever he says in his mind thinks and comes out through a word, it's manifest into reality through this technology that our Father created and was stolen by a small portion of it was stolen by the demon known as Satan, and he tried to become God. Hence goes the story of the war in the heavens. So the body of Adam is a microcosm, the whole world in miniature, and the world in turn is a reflection of Adam. The hair upon his head corresponds to the woods of the earth, his tears to a river, his mouth to the ocean. Also the world resembles the ball of his eye. The ocean that encircles the earth is like unto the white of the eye. The dry land is the iris, Jerusalem the pupil, and the temple the image mirrored in the pupil of the eye. Let me read that again. And the temple is the body, the human projection, is the image mirrored in the pupil of the eye. The eye is the window to the soul. And they're telling you in this ancient text that the temple is the image mirrored in the pupil of the eye. But Adam is far more than a mere image of this world. This is key right here. He unites both heavenly and earthly qualities within himself. In 4, he resembles the angels. In 4, the beast. His power of speech, his discriminating intellect, his upright walk, the glance of his eye, they all make an angel of him. That's the light that emanates from him. But on the other hand, he eats and drinks, secretes waste matter in his body, propagates his kind, and dies like the beast of the field. Therefore, God said, before the creation of Adam, the celestials are not propagated, but they are immortal. The beings on earth are propagated, but they die. I will create Adam to be the union of the two. Let me repeat that. I will create Adam to be the union of the two. That means of the heavens and the earth, the intermediary between the heavens and the earth. So that when he sins, when he behaves like a beast, death shall overtake him. But if he refrains from sin, sin is not following God's law. That's all that means. He shall live forever. God now bade all beings in heaven and on earth to contribute to the creation of Adam. And he himself took part in it, God himself. Thus, so when the Bible tells you, come, let us make man, no, it's come, let us create Adam in our image. He gave everyone say so on God's son, but Adam was the only one that wasn't spoken into existence. He was made by the very hand of our Father, and he himself took part in it. Thus, they all will love Adam. That means in his God form, when he was given the earth and sat in his holy seat, God's elect one. And if he should sin, they will be interested in his preservation. So what does Hollywood have to say about this? Let's find out.
Is it true what Zod said about the Codex?
Strike that panel. We wanted you to learn what it meant to be human first. So that one day, when the time was right, you could be the...
Let me repeat that. Listen very close.
We wanted you to learn what it meant to be human first. So that one day, when the time was right, you could be the bridge between two peoples. Look. Yours. You can save her, Cal. You can save all of them.
Now, if you notice, he tells him, you can save them all, Cal. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. He's the bridge between the heavens and the earth. And the Judeo-Christian church has turned our Father Jesus into the Son. They've they've demoted him through their religion from the light of the world to the sun. Well, here Superman, Adam, is showing you Vitruvian Man, which is the cross of our Father. Okay. And he told, and let's hear what Jor-El, Jesus, tells him again.
You can save all of them.
So according to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the sons of light came to the earth and saw the people of the earth in their bondage. They were under control of Satan, but his other name is Saturn, and the projection of Saturn. So Saturn is a projection point of dark light energy, and I'll touch on that later in the show. But here Jor-El is telling him, you can save them, Kal-El, of the house of El, Emmanuel. You can save them all.
The time was right. You could be the bridge between two peoples. Look. Yours. You can save her, Cal. You can save all of them.
I just played the rest of that clip because it was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Moving on. Now let's go to another movie from Mr. Nolan called Interstellar. Superman and all the Justice League movies. He had a lot to do with those movies, was the executive producer and I think co-writer of a lot of the script. Could be mistaken on that. But let's see what Mr. Nolan says about being the bridge from the heavens and the earth. So this movie, I don't know if anyone's seen this. This is another masterpiece. The earth is dying. They're out of resources, blah, blah, blah. So he has to go into space and leave his daughter. His name's Cooper. This is Cooper. He is now in the fifth dimension looking at the light projection of him and his daughter. And he's outside of time space and he's viewing what has already happened. And the way he got into this fifth dimension tesseract, they said an anomaly popped up just outside. I think it's Saturn. I can't remember. I have to look at the movie again. But they fly there and there's a black hole. So they fly through the black hole, which is nothing but a projection point to a higher dimension. And I'm going to show you in the next clip of how he enters this tesseract. So this is after he went through the black hole and his ship has broke up and he ejected. And now he's going to the Earth projection. I'm going to back up and pause it here so you can get a view of the world. What Mr. Nolan is telling you. Right there, boom. So if you look, we have it looks like a sphere or a circle or a sphere. And inside of this this is a tesseract, light projection reality, and he's flying. He just went through the black hole, through the event horizon. He's still alive, and now he's going into this tesseract, and he has no idea where he's at. So let's see. All right, that is a very, very cryptic and deep scene in the movie. I'm going to try to break this down as well as I can, so please be patient with me. So as Cooper is, like I said, he goes through this black hole, him and the astronauts that are with him. he ends up going through himself with his robot named TARS. Now, what Mr. Nolan and his writers did, they, TARS, TARS, all they literally did was take the S and they removed the S and they put it to the end of the word. So TARS. But if you take that S and you put it in front of the T, it's star. So star, if you understand what a star is, at least there, some can be projection points from higher dimensions, and some are watcher angels. So this being, this robot that's with him, it's an old military robot, and they call him TARS, and he accompanies him on this intergalactic journey to save the Earth, to go into a black hole and find out what the formula is to reverse Earth's demise. And he goes through this, and he basically says that that they're the link between the two worlds, just like they showed you in the Superman movie. So we have the recurring theme of John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Now, a Judeo-Christianity, they tell you that son is Jesus, and the ancient text, and if you understand the old Atlantean worship, was the son of God, was God gave his only son, Adam, to save the earth as the link between the heavens and the earth. So I'm going to go through this again, and this tesseract, he's seeing beams of light congealed into matter. And on the other side of this is his daughter at a different point in time before he left on his mission. So he, like I said earlier, he's outside of time, space, and he has no idea what he's in. He's very confused. And if you see, this is her room. This is the bookshelf inside of her room. And the matter on the other side of this is light congealed into our reality, or into matter. So continuing. So he's trying to communicate with his daughter. Her name is Murph. This is when she's older. This is when she's younger. But by the time he's here, she's already a grown woman, and she's a scientist trying to save the earth. And his mission is to send back the data that they got through this black hole, this projection point, and give them the data that somehow she figures out a formula to save Earth. And they end up leaving the Earth because I guess the Earth is destroyed and it can't sustain life anymore. And I don't know if the formula is gravity. Like I said, I have to watch the movie again. It's been years since I've seen it, but I'm doing the best I can to explain Christopher Nolan's his hidden hand in this movie and what he's telling you. So here he is inside the light projection, fifth dimension, right here, matrix. As you see, it goes down different paths, but this one part of this is literally like a virtual reality library of his daughter's life in her bedroom. So this is a vast library. Imagine this library multiplied by every living being on the earth. So continuing.
If you're leaving, just go.
So that's him entering his daughter's room, trying to make his peace with her. She's mad at him because he's leaving. And he's literally through this holographic projection, pyramidal projection, tesseract technology, he's viewing everything in his life up to that point. So continuing.
Now don't go. Don't go, you idiot. Don't go!
They're trying to get the formula for gravity, but the actual force that they're exerting through space-time is love. Just like the ancient, the 12 pyramids of thought, the ancient texts tell you that God will let you come into this in different expressions, and you find your soulmate and then pull you apart and let you find each other again. So the actual higher vibrational emotion that comes from our Father, love, is manifest through his children through different dimensions or different time cycles projected into this reality. And he's in a higher reality right now, viewing a lower reality. And he thinks that the formula is gravity, and he eventually figures it out, know that it's love.
The message. Affirmative.
They're outside of time, space, in a higher dimension, and they can view everything all at once. at once and find a specific point in time, and they can project themselves like time travel into any point of time that they choose to do, because they're higher dimensional beings. And this is basically the sons of God, the Israel, the children of light. And we've been projected into this timeline to like he said, to save the world. Is that happening right now? No, it seems to be that we're failing, but our Father in the end prevails. So having said that, let's continue. And in turn, this information that he gave him about leaving the projection through a black hole eventually saves the human race from the destruction of the planet. So that he had to leave this dimension and go into a higher dimension through a black hole, through the event horizon, into a higher dimension. And he figures it out and figures out a way to give her the information to save humanity. Hold on, let me back up. Just killed that one. So. All right, killed it again. But if you watch in the video, this part right here.
No, not yet.
He's being ejected out of, or he's being sent out of the fifth dimension. So the Tesseract closed down, and he's sent out of the Tesseract. Now he's back in a black hole. But if you notice, it literally looks like a river or oceans of pure light energy. And he's still in the fifth dimension, but he's moving through the dimensions, through the fifth, the fourth, down to the third. And he sees his own spaceship. That's his ship right here. And as he's traveling down like it said, from the Father's footstool, the four rivers of light, this is what Mr. Nolan is showing you, the four rivers of light projection, or projection point of light energy from a higher dimension. And at the end of his journey, he finds himself back into the third dimension in open space, or in the void. Let me back up a hair. That's third dimension Cooper and his third dimension. They're in the third dimension, in the physical realm, the flesh realm. And outside is him. He's outside of our time space in the fifth dimension. So he's been thrown out of the Tesseract. He's communicated a heavenly knowledge through the Tesseract, through the fifth dimension, to save the people of the earth. And now he's being sent back. But on the way, he sees himself and her. And in the movie, when they're going through this, they tell her not to reach her hand up, but she does anyways. And she says, first contact. So continuing. And that's him right there. He's back. Now he's back into third density. There's the open void of space, and they find him and they take him back to a space station, and that's it. So that's literally the Tesseract technology told to you at a higher level through Mr. Nolan, who in my opinion is a pure genius. He has some of the best movies ever made. I love his movies. So continuing. I'm going to finish with this Superman clip right here. Let me see what I got on the next clip. Okay, yeah. This is going to conclude part 3, and Carl and I will continue with part 4. So for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, the link between the heavens and the earth. So let's hear this same theme over and over, told to you through different movies by Mr. Nolan.
Eventually, our military leader, General Zod, attempted a coup. But by then it was too late. Your mother and I foresaw the coming calamity, and we took certain steps to ensure your survival. This is a Genesis chamber. All Kryptonians were conceived in chambers such as this. Every child was designed to fulfill a predetermined role in our society. As a worker, a warrior, a leader, and so on. Your mother and I believe Krypton had lost something precious. The element of choice, of chance. What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended for him or her? What if a child aspired to something greater? You were the embodiment of that belief, Cal. Krypton's first natural birth in centuries. That's why we risked so much to save you.
Why didn't you come with me?
We couldn't, Cal. No matter how much we wanted to. No matter how much we loved you. Your mother, Lara, and I were a product of the failures of our world as much as Zod was, tied to its fate.
So I'm alone.
No. You're as much a child of Earth now as you are of Krypton. You can embody the best of both worlds. The dream your mother and I dedicated our lives to preserve. The people of Earth are different from us, it's true. But ultimately, I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you guide them, Cal. Not if you give them hope. That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within
The symbol of the House of El means hope. Israel. Emmanuel, God with us. I'm going to say this over and over. Christopher Nolan is telling you who you are hidden in plain sight in his movies. The House of El. When Israel wrestled with Michael the archangel and God came to him in Genesis, it said that Israel built an altar unto God called Beth El, of the House of El, which means the house of the father El. That's what it means. Not the house of Ah. It's not Israel. It's not Beth Yah. It's not Emmanuel Yah. It's Israel, the El, and they're putting it right in your face.
that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential. Not if you guide them, Cal.
Not if you lead them, Adam.
Not if you give them hope. That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you can bring them.
Well, that's it for the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. Carl hopefully will return in part 4. And I thank you so much for your support out there, and may God bless. And remember, Emmanuel is with us. Praise Jesus Christ, and have a good night.